Alrighty, so Highlander Shaman. Obviously, the two main payoffs are Dr. Holiday, Reno. No need to tell you that much. But yeah, Highlander Shaman is a bit control-y, mostly control deck, but it can definitely tempo out. Like you can be very quick on the board with a decent amount of stats real quick. And yeah, you are also very capable of controlling the board. What I'm trying to say is people expect you to be able to be control-y. A lot of people actually underestimate how tempo you could be also, though. Let's go over the cards real quick. We have Asheron Scroll. It's a cool discover cards. Basically, depending on the matchup, you can be very versatile. Like, cards like this, you're gonna be a lot better with cards like this when you actually know the meta and you actually know what you're playing against. Like, this is gonna come down to experience, it's gonna come down to watching top fives, it's gonna come down to actually climbing to a decent rank so you can actually start facing meta decks, because on the lower ranks you're gonna be facing a lot of janky decks, like a lot of weird homebrew stuff. You're not gonna be expecting a lot of the win conditions some of them are gonna be pulling against you, and it's just gonna come down to experience. Like cards like this, it's a real skill test, because you gotta know what you should be looking for depending on the opponents, and you gotta know what you're looking for depending on what you actually want to try to do against that opponent. Like, you could be looking for control, you could be looking for tempo, you could be looking for all sorts of things. So yeah, it's pretty nice in that situation, but it also shuffles Sunken Scroll at the bottom of your deck, and that's gonna give you a lot of extra gas later on as well, so it can definitely help. It sinks another scroll at the bottom of your deck, and that scroll gives you 3 different spells. That's the major payoff. We also have Flow Rider. It discovers a spell from your deck, so you can instantly see the synergy between these two. Like, you shuffle this at the bottom, and if you discover it through this, cards like this, they're major payoff. Like, sinking a card at the bottom, it's supposed to be hard for you to get it back. And cards like this are gonna help you actually get it back faster, and it's gonna be a major payoff to get that. But don't forget, you need to be overloaded, so keeping this on turn 1 in your mulligan is probably not the best idea, unless you really want a minion early on, and usually it's not that big a deal, so you probably don't want this in the early turns. Glacial Shards, pretty nice control minion. This is not a typical 1-drop you just keep in the mulligan and play on turn 1. This is something you want to be very tactical with. Like, you want to freeze a minion with a lot of attack or a big effect. You mostly want to be freezing the opponent's face in today's day and age. Like, you definitely want to freeze their mouth as soon as they play Odin. Like, not before. After Odin is in play, they can start really smacking you for big damage. So this would be something indeed very tactical against things like Odin Warrior, but it can work against a lot of other things. Like Paladin is known to have a very big weapon smack. Could also just freeze minions. You could even freeze a Titan with this. This is something you probably haven't noticed, but if you actually freeze a Titan, the Titan is not able to use its abilities on the next turn. Titans have pseudo charge. Like, as soon as you play a Titan, the Titan's able to attack, aka use an ability. Like, even experienced players, that took him quite a few weeks to actually realize that Wind Fury gives you both 2 abilities a turn, let's say, but if you freeze it, you also can't use an ability. So if you give a Titan a Wind Fury, you're gonna be able to use 2 abilities at the same turn. It's basically like attack. Yeah, that's why I'm saying it's a pseudo charge, because if your Titan doesn't have any abilities, now he's able to attack. So let's say if the Titan you drop in on the same turn, technically you're charging with it. Like, if you didn't have any abilities, you basically attack face with it. So yeah, Wind Fury and Freeze both affect Titans like that, so it's kind of fun. Okay, we also have Lightning Reflexes. This is another good Discover spell. It's also definitely great when you can actually cast the thing you discover, like gives you extra benefit, double Discover basically. And yeah, Discover is very important, very powerful mechanic in Hearthstone, and you can be very, very skill testing. It's very skill testing like that. Like I said, like, the better you are at recognizing what situations you want to be building, what situations you want to be avoiding, the better you will be at discovering. We have Schooling that gives you a bunch of cheap minions to actually be very flexible with, very reactive with, but also very dangerous with. Like, it's basically 4 mana, 6 damage. because you play this on turn 1, and on turn 2 you can literally coin out 3 fish and suddenly there's 6 attack on the board, and if you're against an opponent like, let's say, Druid, they don't have a great way to deal with that. Like, you can be forcing the Druid in a very tough spot if you can literally just coin out 3 fish on turn 2. Shockhopper is another pretty cool card, gets you a random overload card. It's nothing to write home about, obviously, but it's a 1-drop, gives you an extra card. It's definitely not bad. Amphibious Elixir, it's a good nature spell for you, gives you healing and also another discover. The reoccurrence vibe so far, like, you have a lot of discover, hence why this is such a good deck in Top Legend, because the better you are, I'm repeating myself tremendously here, but the better you are, the better cards you're gonna be giving yourself, and better situations. Astalor, pretty great standalone card, like absolute no-brainer for most Highlander decks. You're always gonna find room in a 30 different card deck to slap in good old Astalor, because it's just so much value in a single card, and it's literally giving you a win condition, removal, and armor gain all in the same package, so just huge. Greedy Partner, pretty good stuff here. Like, the main reason why you want to be getting the coin out of this thing is so you can actually pull out Reno faster, Dr. Holiday faster, that kind of deal, or even your Giant Tumbleweed faster, because that can be very clutch against, let's say, Dragon Druid. So yeah, you gotta be tactical how you want to be using the Greedy Partner in a lot of cases. Like, yeah, in some cases you're just gonna throw it out to make the curve better, but in other situations you might want to hold off and actually play the coin out of it when you can actually pull out a high impact card like Reno and whatnot a lot faster like that. Just don't forget you can get another 2-mana spell or card in your hand, basically, so you can actually activate it. That's why we have a bunch of different weird 2-drops. Not super weird, but let's say Trusty Companion. Like, it's really not something that amazing for you, but it is definitely an extra 2-drop for Greedy Partner to work with. It's pretty nice because you could use it on, let's say, your Shockhopper, and that can draw you your Viper, or your Backstage Bouncer, which is one of the very high impact cards you have in the deck, like very high tempo. This could be a turn 3 8-10, and this is like huge. Like, it's huge against anything. It's huge against slow Druids, it's huge against fast Paladins. It's just so much stats with Taunt. It's just great. But yeah, you could be using this on all sorts of different things. Shockhopper is also an elemental, so that can pull your Glacial Shard. What I'm trying to say is you might want to look into all of the minions in the deck. Like, we have Elemental, Beast Elemental, these are beasts. So you can actually really recognize what Trusty Companion could be pulling you. So yeah, whenever you play a Trusty Companion, definitely double check what minions you have left in your deck before you decide who's getting what. Because in some cases you might need a clutch Glacial Shard, in other cases you might need a clutch Viper, or a clutch quick Backstage Bouncer, that kind of deal. So this is a random, but not so random way to be for you to be drawing minions, is what I'm trying to say. Watcher of the Sun, it's a good Forge card. We're not running Ignis in this one, not even in the ETC, which is kind of weird, but Watcher of the Sun is just another 2-drop, which gives you extra healing, and it also gives you a random holy spell. They can usually be pretty good. So Watcher of the Sun, definitely not bad cards. Framesters in here mainly so you can mess up other Highlander decks, like that's the whole purpose of this guy, but it can also be pretty nice against decks that draw a lot, like let's say Excavate Mage loves drawing a lot, and you cock blocking them with a bunch of overloads for their next turn. That basically saves you a turn from them killing you, because they really need every speck of mana they can get in order to pull off their bigger combos, at least. It's just an example of a deck that draws a lot and also suffers from losing mana. We also have a second copy of Framester in the ETC for this situation as well, because if you play the second Framester, you're basically cock blocking the Highlander decks forever. Like, they're not gonna un-Highlander themselves unless it's very, very late in the game. So that can be pretty cool. You could even, there is this card Cold Storage, do you know it? Yeah, Cold Storage can be very, very good like that indeed. You could literally Cold Storage your own Framester, so you can actually double it up for cheap like that. That's something a lot of people don't realize. You could be using the Cold Storage on your own shit. Like, I did see somebody under my YouTube comments saying, I don't use Cold Storage, it's such a bad card. Usually the opponent doesn't give me anything. Well, give yourself something, bro. That's what your minions are there for. You're not gonna kill the opponent with free chip damage. You're gonna be, you can get a lot of extra benefit, like copying your own crap like that. You could get yourself an extra copy of Astalor, of Framester, heck, even Greedy Partner if you really want to coin Reno super quick. Extra Viper, all of that stuff, like a lot of things. You could even copy your ETC and get an extra copy of these 3 cards. Like, once you use ETC a single time, that card is gone, but you can still discover the other 2 a second time, another little niche situation you haven't probably thought about. We also have Lightning Storm, pretty good overload AoE card, ain't nothing wrong with that. It's only overloading you for 1 mana nowadays. It used to be for 2 mana if I remember correctly, and it used to be 2 damage and 3 damage, but now it's actually very solid, sitting at 3 damage straight and only 1 overload. Primordial Wave is a very good card in the deck as well. Like, obviously you could get some pretty good random stuff for your own board, but a lot of the times you're trying to cog blocking the opponent somehow. Like, let's say they set up a good Death Rattle minion against you, like Tori Belor for Warrior, the Rush Chicken, you know, that goes dormant. That can be a pretty good way to deal with Tori Belor forever. You could also use it on the 1 mana 2/2 that gives us 0 mana poison. That's a great way to cog block Sith Mage out of their extra burn damage. All sorts of different ways Primordial Wave can help, but yeah, mainly it's great against Death Rattle things, or just things that have a perpetual effect like Tori Belor. Viper, obviously. Yeah, it can be very flexible how you use it, and you can also just use it to actually buff up your own crap. Like, you do have some, a lot of good minions, like, let's say, a turn 8 Command of Neptulon, you rush down a couple of minions, and these actually live at 5/1s, and then you can also Primordial Wave them into a couple of 5s drops. Those can be pretty high rolly like that. Definitely very flexible card that can be used in different ways. Viper, obviously no-brainer, plenty of weapons out there nowadays. It's also tradable, so you can keep on shuffling it to find other crap, so it can be pretty good like that. Turn the Tides, pretty nice early game control tool. It can also give you a good amount of tempo, like 3 mana, kill the opponent's 3-drop and actually stick your own 3-drop that also has rush and 3 damage. Like, say less, it's insane. And let's not forget, you can also discover extra copies of this, and you could even get a ton of damage with Turn the Tide plus your Horn of the Windlord. Suddenly this starts clapping for 12 damage instead of only 6. You could even set up Horn of the Windlord, discover a bunch of Turn the Tides and play them all, and you could even OTK people like that. It's very rare, obviously, and you gotta look for it hard, but it is something to think about in some cases. Like, it could work against things like control decks, you know, where you can't really stick a board. Might as well stick a big weapon and kill him like that, you know. Backstage Bouncer, like I said, very huge tempo minion. You could be doing this as soon as turn 3 with the coin, and the opponent is gonna be should be very scared of actually leaving you with any minions. Like, even a measly totem suddenly becomes an extra 4/5, so it can be very huge like that. ETC, obviously no-brainer flexible card. You could be flexible here with the cards you use. We are actually running cold storage just in the ETC. You could remove Glacial Shard for something else, like, let's say, Steam Cleaner is something a lot of people are flirting with that idea, so you can become Highlander again against things like Plague Death Knights and whatnot, and other framesters. But you're also shuffling framed cards, which the Steam Cleaner would be destroying, so it's kind of counterintuitive like that. We have Pazik, another great huge tempo minion, basically. This on turn 3 kind of cogblocks the opponent hard, like they're gonna be forced into playing those useless 3/3s. You're okay with that, especially if you have a Lightning Storm lined up, because they spend their mana playing 3/3s and you just clear them, and you're still on the board with a 4/4. And you can also be kind of cheeky with it, like burn cards for combo decks like that. Like, if you're against a mage and you play Pazik, that's very bad against mages. Like, mages really have a hard time keeping their hands tidy, because hand management with combo decks, it can be quite troublesome, and you giving him 6 mana worth of cards he doesn't want to deal with, it's very annoying for them, and they can literally burn their Sith, and a lot of the time they want to be drawing a lot, so this can be very impactful in that situation. School Teacher, pretty nice body, sitting at 4 mana. Also, again, gives you Discover, and you can cheat out for only 1 mana something like Turn the Tides, like a Primordial Wave, like a Lightning Storm, pretty nice stuff. Altered Chords, Pretty nice spell altogether. You can heal back a lot, and it can only cost you 2 mana if you overload yourself, and that's usually not hard for you. And it also removes quite the fat bodies from the board, so all around great stuff. Command of Neptulon, another great nature spell, gives you overload, something to remember. Like, a lot of the times when you're figuring out what you want to be playing in the turn, you also got to be thinking about what are you going to be doing on your next turn, because if you actually overload yourself out of a great potential play for the next turn, maybe you shouldn't be overloading yourself at all, you know? Like, if you play this on turn 7 thinking you're gonna slap Reno on turn 8, well, you're not, because you only have 7 mana now. So that's something to think about. Dr. Holiday, yeah, exactly. Like, Shaman is kind of notorious for that overload mechanic. It's the flavor of the class, class identity, one might say. So you gotta really be thinking about the overload and when you want to be overloading yourself. Like, some turns you're literally gonna be deciding to overload yourself this turn so you don't have to overload yourself on the next turn, so you're not overloaded in 2 turns ahead. Like, you gotta really be thinking for your future turns, like really planning out how the game's going and what you're doing each turn. And yeah, that's something I talked about in 10 tips video, which is very important, and a lot of people, even legend players, sometimes don't do. Like, turn planning and thinking about your future turns, that's a high legend skill a lot of legend players don't even have. Dr. Holiday, obviously huge payoff. You can drop this as soon as turn 4 with the coin, heck, even as soon as turn 3 if you're second and you get the greedy partner, you can literally double coin Dr. Holiday. That's the reason why there's plenty of Vipers out there nowadays. Like, this is one of the main weapons why you want to have Dr. Holiday. And again, cold storage. You can literally cold storage your own Dr. Holiday if you're afraid of the opponent having a Viper against you. You can literally just freeze it and fucking do it again next after his Viper falls. So you can keep on frogging. We have the Titan in here. Don't forget the Titan's passive ability. Your first spell each turn costs 3 less. First spell each turn means that if you actually coin this out on turn 5, that's your first spell, the coin. So you're no longer getting this effect. You're not going to be able to play this on turn 5 and use Lightning Storm, let's say. But yeah, you already used the first spell for that turn. So be careful with this little intricacy again. The 3 different abilities this guy has. The main one is 3 damage AoE for the opponent. And it also heals your stuff for 6, and that can be pretty huge, both for healing your character as well as your minions. Like, you could make some trades first and then heal your dudes back to full, basically, like that. The other ability is draw 3 overload cards, which can be pretty strong, gives you a lot of extra gas. And the other ability, which usually you don't really use all that often, but in some cases you might, is deal 20 damage to a minion. And that can remove some high impact stuff, like let's say the Death Knight Titan, which can go very high because it sucks off other cards. It can go up to 20 health if it finds a big target and whatnot. So yeah, pretty good cards, and there are things to be considering when playing it. And the passive is gonna retain for the future turns as well. Like, if this thing actually lives, the next turn you are gonna get the discount for your first spell again, so be smart about how you use those. We also have Horn of the Windlord, pretty nice offensive but also defensive weapon. Like, you could be dealing with some very fat minions this way. Like, if there's an 8/8 Astalor against you, you could just make it into a 3/3 with this while killing it. It's only taking 3 damage. But like I said, you can also be using it for some serious tempo damage with Turn the Tides and whatnot. We also have Giant Tumbleweed, a very important, very good removal nowadays. It's really coming in clutch against so many opponents, especially against Dragon Druids, like I said. And it also gives you a fat body at the end, like a 6/6 Tumbleweed is definitely nothing to scoff at. And 6 damage usually gets rid of most boards in the first 7 turns anyway, so that can be pretty huge. Prison of Yogg is a very random card I kind of dislike a lot, especially after I play my Dr. Holiday, because some of the spells you could be casting out of this actually break the Dr. Holiday weapon. Like, there are a few spells like Muster for Battle, like the Warrior Fire spell that gives you a 4/2 weapon. That can be pretty disgusting. You could also draw a shit ton of cards with this, potentially overdrawing and whatnot, but usually Prison of Yogg is considered to be a removal. Like, when you play Prison of Yogg, you should be expecting to be removing some stuff from the board, maybe drawing a few cards. That's what you usually expect out of it. It could come in clutch, but usually if you have a safer play, I'd much rather do that and use Prison of Yag more for like a Hail Mary kind of situation. Like if you're already ahead on the board, if the opponent is not really high rolling you, Prison of Yag is just a risk I'm not really willing to take in a lot of cases. Reno Lone Rager, pretty good cards. Obviously we already talked about it, all the hero powers are amazing and whatnot. So yeah, no reason to talk about it too much. And at the end we have Yogg-Saron, which is still a decent minion, still gives you quite a lot of removal. It can also, if your hand is very low, you could actually use it for a bunch of tendrils. Like if you only have 1-2 cards left in your hand, you use this to fill your hand with random tendrils, and that can sometimes randomly win you the game. But be very careful playing the 8 mana tendril, the 8 mana spell tendril, because sometimes that can play Whirlpool, which is gonna clean all of your boards, and it's gonna delete all of your leftover tendrils in the hand as well. So when you're playing tendrils, you usually stop on 7 mana and use the 8 mana when you actually want Whirlpool, because they're like between 5 and 10 8 mana spells right now, so odds of getting Whirlpool kind of high. So yeah, that's it for the deck, matchups wise. From Diamond to Legends, Showdown in the Badlands. I guess here's what the stats show. You're basically positive against all of the popular ones, so that's kind of cute. And for the mulligan, here's what the stats show. Going first, we're gonna go with the kept traits. Yeah, good 1-drop's always great. Dr. Holiday is always gonna be great. This is when going first. Greedy Partner can be amazing. Asheron can give you some good discover. Framester can be huge, especially against Highlander decks. 2-mana Watcher of the Sun, not horrible, I guess. Turn the Tide is also pretty important. Pause can be great. And if you're already curving out, even Backstage Bouncer is probably gonna be great. On the coin, here's what the stats show again. This is the kept rate, by the way, not the just win rate. So when you don't have enough sample size, these are kind of messy, like these exclamation points means the stats are not really great. So we'd much rather see what people are actually holding on to so you have a better idea of what you should be looking for, but it's kind of the same thing. Like you want to curve out nice, you want Dr. Holiday, and you could even consider keeping Reno. Like going second especially, this is a turn 7 huge play, so that can be great. Anyway, that's it for the deck. Far from cheap, but definitely very fun, very powerful if you know what you're doing with it. If you don't have any questions, I think it's time to jump into some games. Alrighty, what are you thinking about this situation? I think I'd actually throw the whole thing away. Like, Command of Neptulon, it's the earliest you can do it on turn 4, and by then we're probably dead against this guy. And the Discover is cool and all, but we have better Discovers than that, so I'd rather roll for that. Yeah, this is not a super great hand, like we're begging for a good 1-drop, like the Shockhopper would be amazing. We didn't get that. We do get the Glacial. Honestly, against this guy, I think it's not a bad idea to just tempo out on the board with a Glacial. So we're basically sitting on the board ready for some stuff. So yeah, just freeze his face and that's all for this turn. They're both pretty similar right now, Goblin. Android? Is that the Android? I don't think this was the Android card back. Wasn't it different? Okay, I'm gonna have to take your word for it. Okay. Okay. So, wait a moment. We have an Elemental on the board right now, and we top deck Trusty Companion. If you play Trusty Companion right now, that's gonna pull out your Shockhopper. And that also gives you a good value trade on the board. Like, this sounds like a good idea to me. Yeah, whip out Trusty Companion on it and make the trade with the 2-2. Alrighty. I'm not super against it, honestly. I'm not against it. Yeah, sure, okay, coin it out. I'm not sure exactly what we're playing against. This guy could be an old aggro pally. He could also be a very old mech pally. Oh wow, you actually got a pretty amazing card out of this guy, because we did just play an Elemental, so next turn this Mind card is basically a 3-mana 4/5 with no overload for you, so that's kind of huge. It's gonna help us clear this whole board, so pretty nice stuff. Yeah, let's whip it out. 3-mana Mind card, and sadly you're gonna have to make all of the trades, including the 4-2. We're not very happy, but yeah, just trade them all. There's no right or wrong answers here. Okay. That's about it. You guys hearing music right now, by the way? No, of course you're not, but the rest of the stream, I think you're not hearing music. Anyway, I'm moving back to the stream situation, and there is the music. Nope. Cool. I guess it's not the worst thing in the world, but let's get back to the stream setup, and here you are listening to music now. Okay. Grim Street Outfitter, pretty good for him. What are we doing here? Maybe trading and playing a backstage bouncer is a good idea, but trade a no, on the board. When I want you to tradable a card, I'm gonna say tradable. When I say trade, it refers to the board, and here you want to kill the Silverhand Recruit, because this guy has synergies with Silverhand Recruits, he doesn't have synergies with that idiot. So let's just whip out backstage bouncer. We're not hearing the guy I'm coaching? Really? Say something? Wow, you're not hearing. What the fuck? Say something again? Again?
Testing, testing.
There you go. Okay.
Oh, you can hear me now?
Yeah, everybody hears you now. Perfect.
What's up, chat?
Yeah, took you a while. You were asking some good questions all over,
That's
but
too bad.
Apparently people haven't heard most of them. Oh well,
Yeah.
it is what it is. Let's see what we're doing here.
I'm recording myself if you want that, and you can overlap the audio maybe, I don't know.
It's alright.
Yeah.
It's good enough. Okay, what are you thinking here? What are we gonna do?
I have no idea. I'm blanking out, to be honest.
Jam Session is gonna help you with a lot of this situation, honestly. Let's put Jam Session on one of the big guys. Our own big guys, obviously. And we could even discover a spell from our deck. Is there a spell at 2 mana that's gonna help us in this board predicament? You could discover Schooling.
Greedy Partner? Oh, that's not a spell.
No.
Schooling.
Oh
Discover
well,
to discover?
let's discover. Yeah, play the Flow Rider.
Discover to discover.
No, get the Lightning Storm for later, maybe. 7/8 kills the 5/6, 4/4 kills the 3/1. 7/8 kills from the board, 7/8 kills the 5/6, 4/4 kills the 3/1.
4/4/3/1.
And put down Watcher of the Sun on the board. Put it on the board quick. There you go. We haven't forged it, but we kinda don't give a fuck about that right now. We just wanted the idiot on the board, basically. Okay, Prismatic Beam, that's kinda shitty.
Yeah.
Well, we have Lightning Storm. Told you, discovering is very crucial in this game. Like, if you know what you're looking for, it can be huge.
That's perfect.
Okay, we're sitting at 5 mana only.
Ooh. Okay.
Could consider the Lightning Storm here indeed, but we are gonna have enough mana for the Titan next turn. So I guess if he even has the refill, it's gonna be good. Yeah, let's Lightning Storm.
Isn't that gonna make me overload?
It is, but next turn you're gonna be sitting at 7 mana with 1 overload,
you're right.
only 6. Let's also forge Creation Protocol, maybe. Not really sure what we're looking for out of it for next time, but might as well get it forged right now. Okay. I guess it's a pure variant. It's gonna give it a bunch of buffs. This might be a situation where we use the Titan to actually deal 20 damage to that shit. But let's see what we get out of the top. Not much, not much. Let's think a little.
EDC band. I don't know, ETC cold storage copy it or anything like that?
Could
or
also
freeze it for 1 turn?
Shard it, maybe. He might overcommit. He might actually think we have Reno. I'm actually down to ETC. Let's do the ETC. ETC for Glacial Shards.
Glacial?
Glacial Shard, yes, the minion. And use it on the 7/6. I guess we should have started with the Asheron Scroll. Like when you're discovering, that's basically what you want to start off with. But let's use it still to spend the mana.
Cold storage.
Out of these, yeah, Cold Storage is gonna buy you an extra turn if you don't want to be playing the Titan next turn. We could just freeze it again and call it a day. That's all for now.
Right. Okay.
Okay, he's a fucking Highlander of all things. Fuck is that even, man? Cool, we're not super sad about that. It is. Highlander aggro pally of all things. You seen it here first.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's
Should
put
I
down
20
the
hit
Titan
it?
here, I think. Let's put down the Titan. And I think, how many overload spells do we have left in the deck? We have Turn the Tide, we have the Command of Neptulon. I think that's about it. Is it still worth? Turn the Tide and Command of Neptulon, 2 cards less than the deck, so we're gonna be down to 15. It's not horrible. Yeah, use the Titan to draw a couple of cards. Use the Titan.
The overload cards? Okay.
Use the Titan to draw 2 overload cards, yes. And use 0 mana creation protocol. Yes. Yaxtaron. And use the 1 mana cold storage on the 7/6.
Perfect.
And you could also tradeable the Ruster Viper. Tradeable it.
What do you mean?
Tradeable it back to the deck, yes. That's what tradeable means.
Tradeable.
Yeah, I've created that fucking term, but it usually is implying what we're supposed to do, and it's like you're just tradable.
You want me to trade?
If I say trade, you're gonna be looking at the board, or at least you should be. When I say tradable, there's really not 2 thoughts about what should be happening, is there?
Yeah.
That was sad for us, like especially since we just removed the Viper and whatnot.
Oh, Wind Fury.
Still.
Did I start healing?
I'm actually thinking about maybe playing a Yaxaron here to steal his 7/6. Yeah, let's do that. Yogg on the 7/6. I'm kind of scared of the 2 random spells, but still.
All right.
Okay, there's the guy.
It's not bad. What's
Pretty
that?
good stuff. Why not freeze your own Titan? Yeah. Why would we, Potato? Don't overvalue guys. Like Titan is cool and all, but it's not gonna win us games. That's all. Just pass. Like, we barely wanted to use the Titan in the first place. Like, we don't have overload cards to draw. He doesn't have a wide board. There's nothing tall on the board. Like, why would we be wasting a cold storage on that? Especially since we're this low on health. Okay, that was a pretty nice minion to snipe off. Cool stuff. I don't think this guy was really looking at what's happening on the board before he committed to this play. And we kind of don't care. Okay, we gotta
have Yogg again.
We gotta get healthy a little. Yogg is not that good on this board. Like, Yogg was good last turn because you had a very good taunt to steal, and he also had a fat weapon he could have slapped you in the mouth with. So that's why Yogg was good that turn. Right now, Yogg is... There's no big board for you to kill. You don't have room to give yourself tendrils. There's nothing good to steal. We're looking for some different things here. Since we know this guy's Highlander, the Framester is probably going to fit in this turn, but let's start with the 2 mana Amphibious Elixir on your face. Scalding Geyser sounds good. 1 mana Scalding Geyser, use it on his minion.
Okay.
Grab the sunk, or no, Altered Chord. We really want to heal. Fuck the random stuff. Our hand is full. Put down the 3 mana Framester.
Framester.
And put down the 4 mana Teacher. Why not? Again, we should have started off with the 4 mana, but we really don't have time to discuss too much, so turn the tide
Jam?
maybe.
On the
Turn
side.
the tides again. Extra damage and whatnot. Like when you're looking for a school teacher spell, usually more expensive is better because you're only paying 1 mana for it. Right now, if we get the Horn of the Windlord, you actually have a very fat amount of damage. Like you can literally top deck Horn of the Windlord and slap this man for 8 damage in the mouth. Twice. So 9 damage twice, so 18 damage. Okay, big fat. What's her face on the board?
Nice. Oh, wanna steal what's her face?
It might be a good idea indeed, but let's figure out the entire turn before we commit too much.
You could kill it. Taunt.
We're sitting at 13 health, so it's kind of good, but he also has an aura active, so if he gets something nutty like charge minions, that can be a ton of damage.
Should I Primordial Ooze?
Let's play the 5 mana Command of Neptulon.
That'd be kind of weird.
Far left Command of Neptulon.
Alright.
Use the 2 mana Altered Core on the 9/9.
2 mana Alter Core on the 9/9.
Yes, 9/9, yes. Quickly. 5/4 trades the 2/4. Go face with the minions. 5/4 kills the 9/3. We could even just hero power. I was thinking about maybe dropping a Primordial Wave here because we would have gotten a couple of 5s and a 4 drop. But we might be begging for some effect like that after he discovers some nutty shit, so I'd rather save that bullet in the holster. Check out what creative words I'm using. Alrighty, let's see what's happening now.
Discover a legendary. It's that chick. What's her name? The Countess? Is that the Countess doing
Yeah,
that?
the Countess gave him all those. Okay, he didn't discover anything amazing here. We're actually very happy.
Can I Primordial?
If you Primordial,
All
your
this
minions
crap.
also get Primordial though.
Yeah, but they suck. And then his are all amazing.
No, that's fine. We're happy with this situation, and there is lethal on this board now. Do you see it with your hands?
I do not.
Think a little.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, exactly.
I hit him 3/3, 6,
Put
7,
down
8, 9,
6
10,
mana
11, 12,
Horde
13,
of the
14.
Windlords.
I only see 14. Alright.
Put down 1 mana
Oh, this
Noggling.
guy.
1 mana Noggling has the Rusher. Yes, the 3 mana Turn the Tides is actually locked. So I kinda thought we had it there with that, but I think we still maybe have it. That Overload kinda screwed us there, didn't it? Wait a moment. Your face is killing the 4/8 for sure. But can we kill him right now? No, you cannot. Okay, the free freeze, both the free freeze attack the 5/5. Both the free freeze into the 5/5. The other free free as well. Come on.
Into this guy?
Yes, your face kills the 8/8. Your face kills the 8/8, and go face with the rest. And hero power again. I really thought there was lethal there, but the fucking overload caught me off guard there. Where the fuck did we overload?
Yeah.
We played the rusher guys last turn, yeah. Would have been a lot of damage. And also the free freeze would have taken care of the one of the taunts. This guy keeps on drawing, like he is high rolling like a fucking Highlander, isn't he? He's gonna play another light ray for sure. Astral Serpent draws him a couple of cards as well. Oh, he actually isn't, because he already he is Highlander. Let's not forget. Well, this time for real, it's lethal with the second Turn the Tides. So put down Turn the Tides.
Okay.
And your face. I mean, technically, the free rusher plus the 4/4 will kill it better. The free rusher plus the 4/4 kill the 4/6, and then your face goes twice. This way it's more damage without taking damage.
Okay.
Which is not exactly important, but we could have done it anyway, so why not? That's about it.
I was planning on stealing his taunt and then attacking him.
That was also lethal, but Yogg is random. When you steal the minion, you're also gonna cast a couple of random spells, and I've ate enough dick to know not to do that when I have a secure lethal. Like, I know random, and I've seen it both in good and bad. Plenty of bad though. You definitely
I'll bring him out, and then he
ones.
kills himself.
You kill your own weapon, you kill your board, that kind of deal.
Yogg dies.
Yeah. Alrighty. Let's do one more. That was quite the slow game we found. Still managed to secure the win.
Yeah.
He was high rolling well against us, by the way. He had decent curvature.
He's trying like crazy.
He did not feel like a silver player. What was your max rank, by the way?
My max rank, gold 4.
Okay, so we're playing a gold meta. That guy didn't really show too many signs of being gold, you know? It was decent. Okay, what are you thinking here?
I like the Hopper. I want to keep the Wind Fury because it won me the last game.
When you're thinking about your mulligan phase,
I want to keep
about
this.
your free 4-mana tops cards, unless it's very impactful like a Reno and you're going second. You don't really want to be keeping 6-mana Horn of the Windlord. It's definitely not something you want to be keeping. It's something you're okay top decking later, but turn 1 having 6 mana in your hand, what's that gonna do? So let's just keep the Shock Hopper, I'd say. I think it's only Shock Hopper. It's basically your best turn 1. That and Schooling. Okay, pretty nice stuff. And also when you're in the mulligan phase, you want to be asking yourself what you're playing against. Hey, look at that, your favorite card came by. But yeah, when you're in the mulligan phase, you want to look at the opponent and start thinking about what you're playing against. Right now, this guy's a 30, so now we can start thinking about maybe this guy is actually a Rage Warrior. And that is a very hard deck, very, very high rolly deck. Yeah, play the Shock Hopper and pass. Yeah, you know at 05. Like, that's what people pay me for, basically roping the opponents a lot of the times you're gonna concede. Okay, this guy's playing Mistake, meaning that this is probably some kind of weird amalgam deck. Menagerie deck is what they're called. He's gonna have a bunch of different tribes, and there is a 7-mana The Amalgam Band as his big payoff later. Right now, yeah, I guess you can crack these fish open, but we're not playing any. We're just, don't play them. They're much better when you actually play them all together, so you can have a free 1 attacker. So just go face and pass. That's all. For next turn, we're thinking about maybe dropping 3 Piranhas. That's gonna be pretty flexible. It's gonna deal with a couple of minions most probably, and might even leave you with a worthless minion for your turn 4 Backstage Bouncer, and we have a turn 5 Dr. Holiday, so that can be huge. This guy definitely could be running a Viper in there, but at the end of the day, what you gonna do? Okay, well, now the fish are pretty decent. Play all three fish, and you can use the 2-attack fish into the 4-2. Just take your time so you don't fuck it up, because they update. So yeah, use the middle one, and that's all we do. Like, a lot of times people do things just because they can do things. In this situation, it's very much beneficial for you not to do anything here. Like, even if these were charge minions and there was a fat taunt in the way, in some cases you just pass the turn and let the opponent have to deal with this still present threat for them, and next turn you could be dealing with this in a different way, like let's say with Horn Turn the Ties and whatnot. But as you know, we already discussed that Backstage Bouncer is what you're trying to do next turn, and this actually is going to help us stick this worthless 1-1 to become a huge 4-5. Okay, and just make sure to go face first. Please don't kill it. Oh, come on, you lucky piece of shit. Okay, well, change of plan. Change of plan. There's nothing to copy. You do not want to overload yourself, because we do want to play Dr. Holiday the turn after. So, obviously, ETC is going to be the play. ETC Band Manager. ETC. And what are we looking for out of that? What are we looking for out of that? Is there any impactful minions from cold storage we're going to be caring for? I guess you could copy your own Dr. Holiday. That might work out.
Cold storage?
I think so. Like, the others are really not sparking that much joy anyway. That's all.
And?
Yeah, when the button glows green, that means you literally don't have anything else
Can't
to
do anything. Right.
When the fat ogre sings, job's done. Job usually is done.
Yeah, sometimes I leave it green and I just like think, and it gives me time to like
Yeah.
think about it, and then just so
This
that
is
he's
a
not
good
interrupting me or
situation
something.
where we can actually discuss things and whatnot, but right now, not much to discuss. Next turn, we definitely want to be dropping Dr. Holiday and start getting some fat frogs. Let's do it. And yeah, make sure to attack every turn so we can get bigger, badder frogs. Like, we're not really face, I'd say. Like, there's really not much we can do with this weapon in terms of killing these guys. Next turn, we can do something with the turn the tide, indeed. Also, another thing, Horde of the Windlord right now. Like, are you planning to play this on turn 13? That's why you don't want to keep Horn. You want Dr. Holiday.
Right.
Okay.
That's funny. Because you gotta wait for it to finish.
Who has to finish?
No, you said that you don't want to play this weapon because you want to keep using this until the end.
Like, in some cases, you are going to break your own weapon, but this is not a weapon you really want to be breaking now, is it? Okay, this guy apparently does not have a Viper. That much has been said. But next turn, you can definitely trade the 4-5 into his 4-4 and cold storage your own idiot so you can have it on the back burner. Just in case he top decks a Viper, because he is running a Tribe deck, and what better Tribe than Beast, especially in this meta, to have a Viper in. Okay, apparently he's killing it, so we're not gonna be able to cold storage our own idiot. What the fuck, bro?
Yes!
What the he did... Okay! The dumbass attacked the 1-1 with the 2-4, but... Oh my goodness, wait a minute. First attack face. Now, with the 4-1, bro.
Oops.
That's what I meant. Now you can cold storage your guy.
Oh, okay, I gotcha. So
and,
you can...
what else?
I could do this. Since he's gonna die. It'll give him a 0, it'll give him...
Honestly, let's go with 1-mana Glacial Shard on his 4-4. And use the 4-mana Backstage Bouncer on the 2-1. And that's about it. I was thinking about maybe Primordial Wave. We were gonna do Primordial Wave maybe if you actually saved your weapon to attack into the 1-1 because that's a free drop for him. Would have been a 2-drop, but still a minion we didn't want on the board. A lot of the time this weapon is great to be trading stuff. This was a situation where we would have used the weapon to trade a minion. So when I say go face, I meant with the minion you were about to freeze, because then you wouldn't be able to go face.
Right.
Okay, running the Rift package.
Goddamn.
Okay. We're happy here, it's definitely in our waters. Okay, the bullshit Yogg location. A lot of people would just eat the shit out of it right now and feel happy about it, but I am not one of those people. I really dislike the silly cards, and I would not be doing random nonsense like that here. I'd rather go with a free mana Turn the Tide. Use your face, or no, actually use the 4-5 into the 3-4. And your face into the... Actually, it would have been better the other way around, but whatever. Yeah, use your face into the 4-4. The 3-3 Rusher can kill the 2-1. The 2-1.
Oh, this guy?
The 2-1, because we're gonna use Primordial Wave now, and that guy's gonna turn into a 0. And your dudes are gonna become 5 drops and 6 drops and 4 drops. So yeah, Primordial Wave, see if we can get some rush action going. We did! Perfect. Rush into the 0-3 and that kills... I mean, they're both 0-3s, but yeah, rush one and the cleave kills him. Perfect. Well, this guy can just fuck off at this point, honestly. He's never winning this one, but yeah, he can just pass.
Unless...
Unless... Indeed, that is the only way you lose this game. I'm pretty sure.
I play prison.
Yeah. Running brawl. Wait a minute, this guy's fucking Highlander, isn't he?
Step 1.
This guy's
Don't kill my
fucking
healer.
Highlander, it feels. Pretty sure he's Highlander. Shouldn't be that good against us though, still.
Rush.
Okay, Astlor is a pretty good thing to be getting right now, honestly. Let's just do that. Like, what else are we gonna
And
do
hit his
anyway?
minion.
Yeah, ask the lore, put the 5 as well, and face with the weapon as well and the minion. When you're positioning minions, I'm not sure I should be bothering you with this information just yet, but we're not doing anything else anyway, so end the turn I'm gonna explain. When you're positioning minions, if there's no taunt on the board, you kind of want your biggest attack minion in the middle. Because there's plenty of cleave things in the game right now. Ignis weapon gives you cleave, the free 4 we just evolved into has cleave. So if the biggest minion is in the middle, that means if somebody wants to cleave you, they're gonna have to take the biggest amount of damage. Potentially killing off the minion or just taking bigger chunk of damage if you're Ignis weapon. So when there's no taunt on the board, that's who you want in the middle. When you have a taunt on the board, if you can control the position of the taunt, the first taunt should be going on the far left, and the second taunt should be going on the far right. If you play more than 2 taunts, it's messy as hell, because there's always gonna be 3 minions next to each other the opponent can cleave into.
Yeah.
But it's something to think about, like, be smart about how you position. A lot of people just throw minions. Many people, including me, have been doing that for years. But once you actually start thinking about these things, you're gonna notice there are plenty of things you could be doing to make your odds better. I'm pretty sure this guy's a Reno deck, so I think it's time for us to drop a Framester. And I'm also not against using the Turn the Tide as well. Again, you positioned poorly here, but it really doesn't matter because your weapon is gonna position poorly for us anyway. Go face with the weapon. The free rusher, obviously. Rushes and everything else goes face. Wait, was that lethal with Horn of the Windlords? -2 damage. It was +1 damage lethal,
been, yeah.
wasn't it? It would have been lethal with the Horn, yeah. Oopsie. Either way, it doesn't matter. But yeah, I kind of slapped on that. Hey, look at that, your favorite card was
lethal. This gets me a lot of kills. Yeah. This gets me a lot of wins.
It does, but right now we were tunnel visioning on other topics.
Yeah. It's fine. Win no matter what.
Yeah, it was a guaranteed win, but still, you always want to be closing the game as soon as you can. No reason to risk the biscuit now, is there? Cool. Well, all around, we didn't play that many games today, but we had to go over the deck, had to go over plenty of different things, and yeah, you noticed so many different levels you need to be thinking about on a lot of these cards. Like, a lot of the time you probably just saw a card and you were like, yeah, I use this in this situation, I use the other card in that situation, but no, they can be very flexible, they can be very... you could be very creative with the ways you can be using those, especially with a lot of the discover things. And yeah, turn planning is especially important with Shaman, because the overload mechanic can really fuck up some obvious turns you want to be doing on next turn. And with the overload, that plan goes to shit quite easily. But yeah, all around, the deck is very, very powerful. You can have a ton of fun with it, and I'm pretty sure you're gonna be maybe even winning yourself into Gold 5 for sure, but maybe even into Plat, just from this coaching session alone.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll hit you back up when I get Plat.
For sure. Sounds like a plan, man. Like, go get him, keep on spamming games. You can't lose once you reach the rank floor anyway, so there's no real risk for you. So keep on climbing, keep on banking those wins, and really, really open yourself up to the potential plays you could be pulling off. Open yourself up to the potential things your opponent is trying to do each turn. That's very important. And just plan out those turns. A few times we actually did mess up discovering last, but your deck is kind of having so much discover, it's kind of hard
tunnel
to
vision,
always
all that.
sequence all of those things.
What did you
So,
suggest that I change out? You said you wanted me to get
Sir
cold
Finley is a pretty
storage.
cool card to include in the deck, but I don't know. Like Sir Finley can also fuck you up a lot of the times if you're not careful. Like Sir Finley is a cool card, but you can actually make yourself not Highlander if you're not careful. Like let's say you crack open the 1-mana fish, and you're like, wow, that's such an amazing synergy with Finley. That's 3 extra card draw. But you suddenly shuffled 3 of the same card back in your deck, and you're no longer Highlander. You can also fuck it up with all the discovers you have. You can discover some of the same spells you have and then shuffle them back in your deck. You could also discover an extra same card from your ETC because you're running 2 out of the 3 cards are the same from your deck. So Finley is an extra layer to the deck. It's definitely a very good card, but it's a double-edged sword, and I don't know, I think it adds a extra layer of complexity to the deck for you right now that you're really not in need of right now. I think you're gonna be just fine with this variant. As we saw, the stats are very solid for it. Alrighty, man. Well, have a great rest of your day. Enjoy the deck, and yeah, have a good one.
Yeah, thanks, man. Later.
Bye.